Hi everybody, welcome to the Fund Recs HQ, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Karen Malone from Centaur Fund Services. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Des.
For the people watching this, a little bit about yourself, please.
Great. Well, as you said, my name is Karen. I've been working in funds industry for close to 30 years, believe it or not. Different experiences at different companies, as you can imagine. I'm an accountant by background, and today my job, I guess, is jack of all trades because I'm CEO of Centaur Fund Services.
Very good. I asked you in today because we had a conversation about people in funds. Let's start with that. What are your views on people and technology in the fund industry?
Well, it's great. Over the last 30 years, I've seen massive amount of change. It's been fantastic. People like yourselves, I guess, coming into the industry and really pushing technology has pushed people like us, because we're a servicing business. We rely very heavily on people and they rely very heavily on technology. So when you marry the two together, the industry has obviously been able to progress and deliver for our clients.
The talent and the quest for talent, how do we attract people into this industry? What do you think are some of the secrets? Because, you know, technology is becoming ever important, but people are not going away. We need people.
We do, and I think it probably starts very early in the universities, maybe even earlier than that in schools. A lot more promotion is needed around finance, technology, the whole fintech area generally. I'm not going to give away all our secrets in Centaur in terms of how we attract people.
Right.
But I think it's very important to keep an open mind. A lot of people go in and assume you're in a finance company, so we need somebody with finance backgrounds. That's not really the case anymore. You have to have an open mind and use people from different disciplines. And when you go to colleges, we spend a lot of time in the colleges with the graduates explaining what we do. We don't just go to the finance or the business school. We go to the technology piece, we go to even to marketing, HR, because every company needs every skill set. And when we look at a lot of our fund accounting staff, as a good example, 10 years ago, a lot of them probably had, an accountancy degree. Some of them now have more business and finance, or they could have finance and tech. So it's all about trying to get in at the early stages, promote the industry, but keep an open mind when you go to hire people. You don't have a checklist. When you meet the people, you understand what they're going to bring to the table. So at Centaur, we don't always look specifically for a particular person or skill set. We're always looking for talent, and if you have an open mind, you're going to find talent. Very
good. Let's talk a little bit about talent. What are some of the traits, though, you look for from people? And because I agree with you, everyone on their CV looks wonderful, because you're polishing your CV and you're going to look great. Looking beyond the CVs, what are you looking for in people?
I guess in the last 10 or 15 years, I've realised maybe some qualities that I have myself, or maybe that I've seen in people that I've respected in my career. One of the things that's so simple, it's probably, everybody say, yeah, that's obvious, but it actually isn't that obvious. I think people's prior work experience, especially when they're in school or college, is becoming so much more important. When we meet people, it's very hard, as you say, to differentiate a CV and people's, 1 degree in this or whatever. Yeah. But when you meet people and you realise the industries or even jobs, odd jobs, whether it was working in a garage or a fast food place or whatever, it shows a real level of responsibility that person is prepared to take. We try to hire people that we can call entrepreneurs. Probably what I would have done for people in the past, where I ran a business as if it was mine. Thought about it, cared about it, picked up the paper if it was on the floor or whatever. Yeah. And when you meet people, you can get a real sense for the odd jobs that they did before as to how they treated those jobs. If somebody from college comes in and says, well, I work in a fast food place, it's just to pay the bills or it's whatever. That's a very different to somebody coming in and saying, I work in a fast food place. And I actually have responsibility for opening up in the morning. Yeah. I have responsibility for the till. At the end of the day, I have to tally up, what I've earned or what's been taken in.
And it's tough work.
And it's tough work.
Direct client facing.
Yeah, but both will have the same experience. Both of them work in a fast food restaurant as a part-time job whilst they were in college, but one sees it as just a job, whereas the other one turns it on its head and tells me what responsibilities they actually had as a result of being in that job. Yeah. They're very different people. And I can guarantee if you hired both of them, one will move at a faster pace than the other because they're actually going to take responsibilities, not just a job. And that's the difference now. 40, 50 years ago when our parents were getting their job, it was a job for life. There's no jobs for life anymore.
Day is gone, hasn't it?
There's no jobs for life anymore. Now it's a partnership. You have to, as an employer, I want to bring in people who want something from me and in return I'll give them something.
Yep.
So transparency, openness about what it is you want to do is so important. So interviewing people and really getting not to just their CV, but actually into them as a person helps.
Well, you mentioned entrepreneurs there. So are you talking about people being very creative when they come on site, or can you elaborate a little bit about that word?
Yeah, it's probably a mixture. I mean, creative, yes, definitely, because the business is moving fast. The industry is moving fast. We're hiring people now that are used to instant, information.
Absolutely,
let's say.
yeah.
So creativity and innovation is really important. But then another side of being an entrepreneur is responsibility, care. I see our office as my house sometimes. And if I'm not there because I'm on the road, I'm selling or wherever I am, I want somebody to mind the house. I want somebody to make sure that it's functioning. And I don't mean that the lights are on, I mean that the work is being done. So we have a lot of people that I see as potential leaders. They're not managers. They don't manage processes. They probably don't manage client delivery. But they're leaders within the business. And they lead the way and they show other people how it can be done. So you can empower people in more junior positions and in more senior positions. So it's all about trying to get that balance, get that mix, and look at the few quality. You won't get out every quality in every person. That's hard to do.
I agree with you. And it's something for people watching this, and maybe they're starting to come into the marketplace. The stuff you can do that I didn't even realise when I started. I started back in 1998 in the funds business, and one of those things was turn up on time. Actually be there on time, and it's one of these things that the guys in my office slag me about. If I'm going to a meeting, I'm going to be there 15 minutes ahead of time, even if I've been to that room or that location plenty of times. I think the art of being punctual goes a long way, and it goes back to what you said about a piece of paper on the ground. I remember my first job was with Boyce's Fund Services, and I remember a piece of paper on the ground. And I remember the MD walking past that and picking that up, and I remember I just remember noting and said, that's the difference.
Yeah.
It sounds like such a small thing, but it is important.
It is. I mean, I have a really live story. I mean, in Centaur, obviously, we're very open plan, we're very inclusive, and it's not always obvious who's who in the organisation, which is great, because at the end of the day, we're all just there to have a common goal, satisfy the client, and go home at the end of the day. I was in the kitchen one morning and I was emptying the dishwasher because it had been on from the night before, and I happened to be first in. And a new graduate had come in and introduced himself. Oh, hi, I'm so-and-so, who are you? And I just said, I'm Karen. What do you do? Are you, are you the admin? And I went, well, yeah, I am now. Yeah. Later today, I'll be somebody else. And then tomorrow, I'll be somebody else again. And I think people need to forget about titles sometimes. We have responsibilities in our roles. But again, if you can include people and make sure that everybody has a free voice, I suppose, not that everybody's, we don't have a suggestion box or anything like that, but when we're putting groups together, like we're re-energising our health and safety working group at the moment, and I had a meeting yesterday and they said, well, so will I go out to the management team? And I said, absolutely not. Go to the whole company. I want representation from every department, every level, and then we pick, to make sure that it's a balance. Yeah. Because health and safety affects everybody. It's not a service we do, but we have to comply with it. It affects everybody, and I bet you £10 to a penny, the people that are, straight out of college will have probably as good an insight into health and safety, because they've lived in an environment that probably had all the rules, than somebody who's been like me in industry. So getting a balance is very important.
Having that common sense approach is also in there too. Karen, look, I wish you guys every success in the future, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much, Des. I really appreciate it. Thank you.